Hey everyone, it's Harry from High Spurs TV back with another match reaction slash or two match reaction videos in one. So I've been enjoying the past few days because we actually won a trophy for once, but on reflection, we need to talk about Ange's future, which will be in this video, and also just in general, how the season's kind of gone on, what I think should happen in the future. I think most people will know me, will know what I'm going to say at the end of this video. And how I feel the season's gone. So let's just get this first season out of the way. Premier League performance, embarrassing, 22 losses, and that was compounded obviously by the final loss we had at home to Brighton after the Europa League win. Now, this is effectively our worst ever Premier League performance. So on that standard, obviously Ange needs to go. But in the cups, because most people would point to the cups, FA Cup, we got knocked out by Villa. We got to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, or Carling Cup, whatever you can call it nowadays, and Liverpool knocked us out over 2 games. Bear in mind, I think Liverpool scored something like 15 goals against us this season, and we've only replied with 3 or 4. So that's pretty, I think 5 overall. Yeah, so we scored 5 and conceded 15 against Liverpool, which is a really poor return actually. But yeah, Ange needs to go. But to deep it really, what I've seen in this fan base is within 90 minutes, probably 80% of people flip back who were originally Ange out have flipped back to Ange in. Now, as much I was so happy, look, I'm still happy that we won Europa League and that broke our trophy duct. In 2 years, this manager has not improved one bit of this team, whilst at the same time claiming all the players are his. So you can't sit here and say that he wasn't backed, because even me, who hates leaving, I know he wasn't backed to the level he should have been backed. But he says to us at the beginning of the season and all throughout the season, before everything started to go wrong, that these players are his. So you live by the sword, die by the sword. Now, as the Europa League run, yeah, of course I'm happy we won it. But if you deep it really, in the group stages we're always going to go through. Apart from Galatasaray, where we didn't really have like a tough game. Maybe Rangers away, we did get a draw. But in those games, even in them, we got lucky. Next round, Frankfurt, probably the best performance we had away from home in the whole tournament when we won 1-0 for a penalty from Solanke. Next round, Bodo Glint. Now, whilst I was one of those people who said it might be a tricky tie, on paper we should be beating them, which of course we have, and we did. As for the final with Man United, I thought Man United had a harder run than us to get there. People also forget Amorim was only been there for what, 3-4 months? 3 months, 4 months? And we won that game basically really through an own goal. I still think it was own goal because it hooked Luke Shaw's hand last. It was a great ball by Saul, by the way, really good ball. But this is the worst Man United team I've ever seen in my life, and I've been alive for 33 years. And I think it's one of the worst United sides ever. So really and truly, Arsenal United were actually the favourites along with Bilbao. So the kind of competition played out how it should be. Now, I'm not disputing, trying to downplay the fact we won it. I'm just saying, if you look at the context of the quality of the teams we played, we kind of should have won it really in that respect. And obviously, I give credit to the team for like staying in their tough positions and getting to that point. But has Ange masterminded this crazy run, and that's why we've won the trophy, and how we played like an Arsenal level team or a Newcastle level team or like a really, really high quality team. I do think the competition has been diminished, partly because the Champions League teams don't drop into the Europa League, which some people have seen as a good thing. But that needs to be taken into consideration because normally, right, we would play like and we use this as a team as an example. Someone like Seville would drop through into the Europa League after finishing third, and they tend to go on and win it. But we didn't really face a team like that because the Champions League teams didn't drop. Because if you really think about it, if we played in the Champions League this season, we would be knocked out straight out the first round. So has there been that much of an improvement? I don't really think so. And this is why Ange needs to go. We need to put our emotions aside, and Ange needs to go. Thank you for the trophy, Ange, but you need to go. You're tactically inept. This trophy one was more for you, I think, than us, because obviously he said his second season thing. Even though if you go back to last season talking about the title, and now we're 17th, but he talks so much nonsense that at this point, who knows what to believe. But people will pinpoint with certain things and say, "Oh, look, he said this, and now he's right." But then he said so many other things that he was wrong about. Like a million other things he was more wrong about than he was right about. And for me, he knew he had to win this competition to kind of save his job, because now Levy, if you read reports, could do a U-turn and not sack him, because, like I said, our fan base has flipped. But this is all emotions. I mean, to put the emotions aside and realise this manager's not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and he's overseen one of the worst seasons ever for the club in its whole history, and at least in the last 90 to 100 years, because you have to go back to 1934 to see how many losses we've had to match the 22. And it's the 1934 season, we lost 22 or something like that. And we obviously matched it this season with 22. And in that season, I think we played 42 games. So we actually played more and we lost. So really, this is one of the worst seasons in 100 years. It's just the win, to be brutally honest, is papered over the cracks. Like I said, thank you for the trophy, and you need to go.